Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Slow and Simple English. I'm Jessica, and I'm so excited about today's topic.
Hey there, I'm Jack, and today we're talking about something that I think everyone experiences, overthinking.
Oh my goodness, yes. Just last night, I couldn't sleep because I kept replaying a conversation I had with my boss. I was like, did I say the right thing? Should I have said something different?
See, that's exactly what we're covering today. Overthinking is so universal, but many English learners don't know how to talk about it. They don't know the phrases native speakers use to describe those moments when your brain just won't stop.
Right. And this is important because overthinking affects everyone, whether you're at work, in social situations, or just lying in bed at 2 a.m. Being able to express these feelings in English helps you connect with others and even understand yourself better.
So today, we're going to teach you phrases like, I'm overthinking this, stuck in my head, spiraling, second-guessing myself, and many more. You'll learn how to describe overthinking, how to talk about your anxious thoughts, and how to tell someone to stop overthinking.
We'll also share some really common expressions that native speakers use in everyday conversation. By the end of this episode, you'll have the vocabulary to express these complex feelings naturally.
And you know what? We're going to speak slowly and clearly today because we know that when you're learning to talk about feelings and emotions, it's important to really understand every word.
Absolutely. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in.
All right, so let's start with the basics. Jessica, what does overthinking actually mean?
Well, overthinking means you're thinking about something too much. You're analyzing every little detail, imagining all the possible outcomes, worrying about things that probably won't happen. Your brain is just working overtime.
Exactly. The word overthinking itself is pretty simple. It's over plus thinking. That over prefix means too much or excessively. We use this prefix a lot in English. Overworked, overeating, oversleeping.
Right. So when someone says, I'm overthinking this, they're saying, I'm thinking about this situation too much and it's making me anxious or stressed.
This is probably the #1 phrase you need to know. I'm overthinking this. It's simple, clear, and native speakers use it a lot.
Let me give you an example. Imagine you sent a text message to a friend 3 hours ago and they haven't replied yet. You start thinking, are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Maybe they don't want to be friends anymore.
Oh no, that's classic overthinking.
Right? So your other friend might say to you, hey, you're overthinking this. They're probably just busy. Don't worry about it.
Perfect example. Now, there's another really common phrase, I'm stuck in my head.
Ooh, I love this phrase, stuck in my head. It's such a vivid way to describe overthinking.
It really is. When you say, I'm stuck in my head, you're saying that you're trapped in your own thoughts. You can't escape them, you can't move on, you're just stuck.
It's like your thoughts are going in circles over and over and over again. You can't focus on anything else.
Exactly. So you might say to a friend, sorry if I seem distracted today, I'm just stuck in my head about something that happened at work.
And your friend would understand immediately. They know you're overthinking, you're preoccupied, you're mentally somewhere else.
Now, here's another phrase that's really common, especially among younger people. I'm spiraling.
Oh, spiraling is such a powerful word. This is when overthinking gets really intense.
Right. When you say I'm spiraling, you mean your thoughts are getting progressively worse. You start with one worry, then that leads to another worry and another and another, and suddenly you're imagining the worst possible scenarios.
It's like a downward spiral. You're going down, down, down into worse and worse thoughts.
Exactly. So imagine this scenario. You make a small mistake at work. Maybe you spelled someone's name wrong in an email, and then you start thinking,
Oh no, they're going to think I'm careless. My boss is going to hear about this. I'm going to get fired. I won't be able to pay my rent. I'll lose my apartment.
yes, that's spiraling. You went from a tiny mistake to losing your apartment in like 5 seconds.
Exactly. So you might text a friend and say, help, I'm spiraling about something that happened at work. Can you talk me down?
And talk me down is another good phrase there. It means help me calm down, help me think more rationally.
Great point. Now let's talk about another really common phrase, second-guessing myself.
Ah, yes. Second guessing. This is a big part of overthinking.
It really is. When you second guess yourself, you're doubting your own decisions. You're thinking, did I make the right choice? Should I have done something different?
So let's say you're in a meeting and you share an idea. After the meeting ends, you keep thinking, was that a good idea? Did people think it was stupid? Should I have just stayed quiet?
That's second guessing. You're questioning yourself after the moment has already passed.
Right. And you might say to someone, I keep second guessing everything I say in meetings. It's exhausting.
Or someone might say to you, stop second guessing yourself. Your idea was great.
Now, here's a phrase that's a little more informal. Living rent-free in my head.
Oh, I love this expression. It's so funny and so accurate.
It's a newer phrase, actually. You hear it a lot on social media and among younger people. When something is living rent-free in your head, it means you can't stop thinking about it, even though you want to.
The image is funny, right? Like there's a person or a situation just living in your brain and they didn't even pay rent. They're just there, taking up space.
Exactly. So you might say, that embarrassing thing I did 3 years ago is still living rent-free in my head. Or, my ex-boyfriend's words are living rent-free in my head and I need to evict them.
Yes, evict them, kick them out. That's perfect. Okay, now let's talk about some phrases you can use when you want to stop overthinking or when you're trying to help someone stop overthinking.
Good idea, because it's not just about describing overthinking. Sometimes we need to tell ourselves or others to snap out of it.
Right. So a really common phrase is, don't read too much into it.
Don't read too much into it. This is such useful advice.
It really is. When you read into something, you're looking for hidden meanings or deeper significance, and sometimes there just isn't any.
Right. So let's say your boss sends you a short email that just says, see me tomorrow, and you start panicking. Am I in trouble? Am I getting fired? What did I do wrong?
And your coworker might say, hey, don't read too much into it. She probably just wants to discuss the project. It's fine.
Exactly. You're being told not to overanalyze, not to look for problems that aren't there.
Another phrase that's similar is, you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Ooh, that's a great idiom. Making a mountain out of a molehill.
I love this expression. A molehill is tiny. It's just a little bump in the ground. But a mountain is huge. So if you're making a mountain out of a molehill, you're turning a tiny problem into a huge one.
Right. You're exaggerating. You're blowing things out of proportion.
So imagine you spill a little coffee on your shirt before a presentation. A small inconvenience, right? But you start thinking, everyone will notice. They'll think I'm messy and unprofessional. This presentation is ruined.
And your friend might say, hey, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Just wipe it off. No one will even notice.
Exactly. It's a reality check. It's saying, this isn't as big a deal as you think it is.
Now, here's another phrase I hear a lot. It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. This is super casual and very common with young people.
Right. When something is deep, it's complex, meaningful, profound. So when someone says it's not that deep, they're saying, this is actually pretty simple. Don't overthink it.
It's basically saying you're looking for complexity where there isn't any. It's straightforward.
So let's say your friend cancels plans with you and you start wondering, do they not like me anymore? Are they avoiding me? What did I do wrong?
And another friend might say, relax, it's not that deep. They said they're sick. They're just sick. That's all.
Perfect. It's a gentle way of saying, stop overthinking this simple situation.
Okay, now let's talk about another aspect of overthinking, rumination.
Ooh, rumination. That's a more formal academic word.
It is, but it's really useful to know, especially if you're reading about mental health or psychology in English.
Rumination is basically repetitive negative thinking. You keep going over the same thoughts again and again and again.
Right. The word actually comes from cows. Cows ruminate, which means they chew their food, then bring it back up and chew it again.
That's such a weird origin.
I know, but it's actually perfect because when you ruminate mentally, you're doing the same thing, chewing over the same thoughts repeatedly.
So you might say, I spent all weekend ruminating about that argument with my sister.
Or, I need to stop ruminating on past mistakes and focus on the present.
It's a more formal word, so you might see it in articles about mental health or hear it from a therapist, but you probably wouldn't use it in very casual conversation.
Right. In casual conversation, you'd more likely say dwelling on it or obsessing over it.
Speaking of which, let's talk about those phrases. Dwelling on something is really common.
Yes, dwelling on something is a phrase we use all the time.
When you dwell on something, you're spending too much time thinking about it, usually something negative or something from the past that you can't change.
Right. So you might say, I know I made a mistake, but there's no point dwelling on it now. I just need to move forward.
Or someone might say to you, stop dwelling on what your coworker said. She probably didn't mean it the way you think.
Exactly. It's a reality check. It's saying, this isn't as big a deal as you think it is.
Now, here's another phrase I hear a lot. It's obsessing over something, is even more intense.
Right. Obsessing is when your thoughts become really intense and consuming.
When you're obsessing over something, you think about it constantly. It dominates your thoughts and you can't focus on anything else.
So you might say, I've been obsessing over this job interview all week. I can't focus on anything else.
Or she's obsessed with what people think about her. She checks her Instagram comments every 5 minutes.
It's definitely more intense than just overthinking. It suggests the thoughts are really taking over your life.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about some physical and emotional effects of overthinking. What phrases can we use to describe how overthinking feels?
Great question, because overthinking isn't just mental, it affects your body and emotions too.
Right. So one thing people often say is, my mind is racing.
My mind is racing. This describes when your thoughts are moving super fast and you can't slow them down.
Exactly. It's like your brain is a race car just going around and around at top speed.
You might say, I can't sleep. My mind is racing with everything I need to do tomorrow.
Or, during the test, my mind was racing so fast I couldn't focus on the questions.
Another phrase is, I can't shut my brain off.
I can't shut my brain off. Yes, this is so relatable.
It really is, especially at night when you're trying to sleep, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. You're lying in bed, exhausted, but your brain just keeps going and going.
You might say, I'm so tired, but I can't shut my brain off. I keep thinking about everything that happened today.
It's that feeling of wanting to rest, but your thoughts won't let you.
Now, here's a phrase for when overthinking makes you physically exhausted. Mentally drained or mentally exhausted.
Mentally drained. This is such an important concept.
It really is. People often think exhaustion is only physical, from exercise or hard work. But thinking too much, worrying, stressing, that drains your energy too.
Absolutely. You might say, after that difficult conversation, I felt completely mentally drained.
Or, overthinking everything is so mentally exhausting. I need a break.
It validates that mental effort takes real energy, just like physical effort does.
Now, let's talk about some phrases people use when they're trying to stop overthinking or when they've decided to let something go.
Good, because we need some positive phrases too, right?
Exactly. So, one phrase is, I'm trying not to overthink it.
I'm trying not to overthink it. This shows self-awareness.
Right. You're recognizing your pattern and you're actively working against it.
So you might say to a friend, she hasn't texted me back yet, but I'm trying not to overthink it. She's probably just busy.
Perfect. You're catching yourself before you spiral.
Another great phrase is, I'm just going to go with my gut.
Go with my gut. I love this phrase.
Your gut means your intuition, your instinct, that immediate feeling you have about something.
Right. So when you go with your gut, you're trusting that first instinct instead of overthinking and analyzing everything.
You might say, I've been overthinking this decision for weeks. I'm just going to go with my gut and choose what feels right.
Or stop overthinking and just go with your gut. What does your instinct tell you?
It's about trusting yourself instead of getting lost in analysis.
Another phrase is, it is what it is.
It is what it is. This is such a common American phrase.
It really is. It's a way of accepting reality and letting go of control.
When you say it is what it is, you're saying this situation is what it is. I can't change it. So there's no point overthinking it.
It's about acceptance. So you might say, I didn't get the job, but it is what it is. I'll find something else.
Or the meeting didn't go perfectly, but it is what it is. We did our best.
Some people find this phrase too passive or dismissive, but many people find it freeing. It helps them stop ruminating.
Right. It's about knowing when to let go.
Okay, now let's give everyone some practical examples. Let's do a mini conversation where we use several of these phrases naturally.
Great idea. So let's say you're meeting a friend for coffee and they seem stressed. Here's how the conversation might go.
Hey, how are you? You seem a bit distracted.
Oh, yeah, I've been stuck in my head all day about this presentation I have to give tomorrow.
Oh no, what are you worried about?
I keep second-guessing every slide. Like, is this slide clear enough? Is that joke appropriate? Should I include more data? My mind has been racing all afternoon.
Okay, I think you're overthinking this. You've given presentations before and they've always gone well.
I know, but I can't shut my brain off. I keep imagining everything that could go wrong.
Listen, you're spiraling. Don't read too much into every little detail. Your presentation is going to be great. Just go with your gut.
You're right. I'm definitely making a mountain out of a molehill. I just need to breathe and trust myself.
Exactly. Stop dwelling on all the what-ifs. You've got this.
Did you hear how naturally all those phrases fit into one conversation?
Yes, that's exactly how native speakers talk about overthinking in real life.
Now, let's practice. We're going to give you some scenarios, and we want you to think about which phrases you would use.
Scenario 1. You sent an important email to your professor 3 days ago and they haven't replied. You're starting to worry. What might you say to yourself or to a friend?
You might say, I'm overthinking this. They're probably just busy. Or, I need to stop obsessing over this email.
Good. Scenario 2. You had a job interview and you keep replaying every answer you gave, thinking about what you should have said differently. What's happening?
You're second-guessing yourself. Or you might say, I can't stop ruminating about that interview.
Perfect. Scenario 3. Your friend seemed a little quiet during lunch, and now you're convinced they're mad at you, even though they said everything's fine. What might someone say to you?
They might say, don't read too much into it. Or, you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Excellent. See how useful these phrases are?
Now, your homework for this week, notice when you're overthinking something. Try to use one of these phrases to describe it, either in your head or to someone else.
And when you notice a friend overthinking, try using one of the advice phrases we taught you today, like, don't read too much into it, or you're overthinking this.
The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become.
All right, let's recap everything we learned today.
We learned the basic phrase, I'm overthinking this, the most common way to express overanalysis.
We learned stuck in my head when you can't escape your thoughts.
We learned spiraling, when thoughts get progressively worse and more anxious.
Second-guessing myself, doubting your decisions after you've made them.
Living rent-free in my head, a humorous way to say something won't leave your thoughts.
We learned advice phrases like don't read too much into it and making a mountain out of a molehill.
We learned phrases for the feeling of overthinking, like my mind is racing and mentally drained.
Finally, we learned phrases for letting go, like go with my gut and it is what it is.
These phrases will help you express complex feelings about anxiety and overthinking in natural, everyday English.
Remember, overthinking is a universal human experience. Being able to talk about it helps you process these feelings and connect with others.
If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know. Leave a comment telling us, what do you tend to overthink about? Maybe we can talk about it in a future episode.
Next time, we're covering English phrases for when you're tired. Not just I'm tired, but all the creative, expressive ways native speakers talk about exhaustion.
Until then, try not to overthink things too much.
Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.